now. Let's see. Thursday, October 10th, we have an 11-game slate. I see some people in chat were fired up about Joel Armia last night. He was a key to some people who made some big money. So that's great to see. Wish his line mates would have done a little bit more. Probably would have been a little better for me, but glad you guys took advantage of him. 2 goals in the first. Got a couple of tweets on that, so that was funny. Should be a pretty cool show today, and actually pretty exciting day, I think, for just for the site in general. First of all, I want to mention Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. They are the presenting sponsor of the NHL Strategy Show. We love Yahoo. We like playing over there because it's a little bit weaker competition. We're trying to make money at this. So I've got their NFL contest posted for the Sunday slate. They also have contests that start today going through Monday. So if you're playing NFL tonight, there you go. You might want to go check out on Yahoo and play against some weaker competition, some lower management fees than what you're going to find on Fanduel and Draftkings. So just want to shout out to Yahoo. If you want, and I think you should, if you're thinking about signing up for Yahoo, using promo code AWESEMO will get you up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. And the way you can find more information on this is by checking out Emac's article for the primetime game tonight. I know it's not a great slate, but you might be playing Showdown. You might be playing some Thursday through Monday on Yahoo. Where is Emac's article here? I can't find it. It's usually right up on the homepage, right at the top. Oh, there it is. I'm just blind. All right, so we're gonna link that, and if you want more information on Yahoo, feel free to check that out, and of course give that a read because Emac does a great job on that. Glad Thompson got me a shorthanded assist. There you go. Remember this day? What's this day? When will the good guys crush? Yeah. Hopefully today. I don't know. Maybe the good guys already are crushing. I mean, one good guy that we'll look at on lineup study crushed last night. One of, if not maybe the best players in NHL DFS. He didn't take it down last night, but I had Slewfoot pulled up here. Slewfoot's a stud. He did take it down. I'm sorry. He tied for first. He wasn't on here, but there we go. There was a 3-way tie for first. Jay Thomas actually tweeted me, and he did. He actually tied for first. I thought that was another contest, but really nice job here. Only 5 lineups, very impressive. So let's look at his lineup here. Horvat, Pettersson, Besser, JT Miller was the key. Armia one-off. Rasmus Dahlin, little pay up to be contrarian. Alex Edler. I mean, nothing too super flashy here. I think this was the lineup that all those guys tied with. So, congrats. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool to tie for first with only 5 lineups. Congrats to a Norman. I'll say it like that. I don't know. Imagine putting in 2 lineups and banking. I mean, that happens. Sometimes you hit the nuts every once in a while. 5 lineups is really difficult. Slewfoot put in 150, so I think a little bit better of a night than what we had seen for the 150 guys on the shorter slates. The first couple were pretty brutal if you 150'd. Last night, you see a couple familiar names up at the top. Slewfoot, again, I mean, his lineups, nothing flashy. Armia one-off on 4 of his top 5 lineups, or not one-off, he had Weber and Petrie in a few of them. But, yeah, that was kind of the key. And then Vancouver scored a bunch of goals, and he had unique stacks. So nothing different out of Slewfoot. He oftentimes doesn't do the classic 3-3 stacking, the kind that I like to do a little bit more. But when things go just a little bit weird, he's still playing good plays all the time. You see Besser and Pettersson and Miller, so he had the full stack. But Eichel one-off was key. Armia, like I said, was key. Rasmus Dahlin. Oh, here comes Nolan. All right, we're just looking at lineup study. I didn't even tell everyone you were joining, but let me switch this over. All right, now people can see you. So Nolan's here. We're just we're looking at Slewfoot's. Looking at his lineups. He tied for first. Three-way tie for first. Yeah, man. I mean, just do you see anything different that Slewfoot did last night? It feels like he's always taking it down with some sort of power play stack.
Yeah, that's exactly what I as soon as James Neal scored those goals, I was like, oh, I'll bet you Slewfoot's going to win this one.
No, that was 2 nights ago, but even last night.
What was last? Did he win two yesterday too?
He didn't win 2 nights ago, did he? I don't think.
Oh, I think he did because
what did he win?
The James Neal Hattie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong.
You might be right. I don't know. Wouldn't be surprising. He always crushes. But yeah, I mean, just like all the good plays on Vancouver, just a little bit different lineup construction, and had the correct.
What was his lineup?
It was Vancouver 1 with let's see, Eichel 1 off, Armia, Horvat 1 off with Vancouver, Edler, Rasmus Dahlin, and then Markstrom. So correlated the goalie there. He wasn't correlating goalie on purpose, I don't think, but Markstrom was one of the higher scoring goalies, and he was chalk, so he was kind of the goalie that you needed to do well, it looks like.
All right, I think you're right, actually. I think I'm like totally off base here. He did not win 2 nights ago. I don't know what you would have thought he would do well, right? Because Neal was on that power play, but
right. Got to get this win. And Premium Slack says he banked on FanDuel or top 5 for sure 2 nights ago, so maybe had a good night.
Yeah, I didn't even see him in the top on DraftKings. That's weird.
Yeah.
But there you go. I had like 98% Canucks 1 and 2, and just lost money. I don't know how that happened. But.
Yeah, Besser was a little bit disappointing, but as you can see, if you did something different with your lineup, you can still be okay, because he was all over the top lineups, because Pettersson scored 1, JT Miller went nuts. So, yeah, interesting night. Big slate tonight, a little bit different strategy. And if you are looking to up your strategy, I haven't talked about this yet, or I guess I haven't announced it to everyone watching, but we did get a beta version of DraftKings ownership projections. So Alex has been working really hard on those since MLB ended, really, and he's come up with some that he thinks are good. They look really good to me, and if Alex approves of them, then we're offering these on the site. They're in beta right now. They're going to get better and better as we get more data. But as you see, kind of a sneak peek of some of the popular guys on this slate. Yeah, man, how pumped are you to have this ownership?
It's great. Yeah, it's gonna be nice not to have to guesswork. And also, I feel like there's a process through which it's kind of like it really centers your focus on like some lower owned lines that you're like, wait, why is this guy lower owned than he should be? Like, I'm gonna get I think tonight, like, I'm just looking for an example of Sean Monahan. We have him projected for 1% tonight. Like, I don't know if he'll come in, but he'll probably be around 1 to 3%. Now that's not a great matchup, and the price is high, and it's pretty bad all around. But man, like Vegas 1 as well, like 2 really bad matchups, but 1 to 2% ownership for those lines. Like, I think that's more often than not how you can win some of these tournaments, is by pairing a really a good value line with a really poor value line, but at very low ownership that still has the talent to go off.
Yeah, man. So this will be cool. This will be cool as a talking point throughout the season. And like I said, they're going to get better and better. Alex is working really hard on these. So really cool to see them come out so early in the season. We were expecting in the next couple weeks, but then he kind of surprised us this afternoon. So go check him out. Do we know...
Question for you, though. Do you feel... I feel like the defense is a little bit off right now.
Yeah.
Did you agree with that?
There's some guys... like I think Ben Sherratt was like near 10% or something like that.
Right.
So, it's not going to be perfect right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Just take that with a grain of salt. So I'm saying, like, if don't use them as verbatim just yet.
Right. But I think it is a really good guide. I mean, everyone on this list makes a lot of sense to me. and I think it's going to be a good ballpark of where stacks are going to be, certainly. So pretty exciting to talk about these. We talk about DraftKings and using their pricing all the time. Now we can refer to some ownerships. And today is the last day to use the NHL Early Bird promo code for $40 off the yearly price of the NHL yearly package. So you're going to want to do that now if you want access to these ownership projections. You got DraftKings right now. That's all we got so far, but hopefully FanDuel to come, and the other sites as well if they start offering some bigger contests. So we're really excited about it. Once again, promo code NHL Early Bird for your yearly package. Also, you can use promo code Hit the Ice for 50% off your first month of premium all access. All right, man. You didn't do a line changes article today, but I'm sure you've got some notes.
It's coming out. Yeah, it'll be out, I guess, just after this show. I've actually got it almost done, but I just want to make sure there's it's kind of a weird day. There wasn't a ton out there, but
okay, cool.
We'll get some of it tonight, so for this hour.
Nice. All right. Well, actually, one more quick plug. I'm just getting them all out in front so I don't miss out on anything. We were doing a Thursday night giveaway. We've been doing one basically every week so far for NFL, for the NFL Thursday night game. Tonight, you, of course, retweet, like, and reply with the player that's going to score the most fantasy points on Thursday Night Football. So it is Patriots and Danny Dimes carrying the Giants. I think they're like a 16.5 point dog or something I saw.
Yeah, 16.5, 17.
Yeah, man, it's going to be probably a snoozer, but hopefully we get a good game. But
Ben
you got a chance.
And Alex as well moved their show forward for Thursdays now, so it's up now if you want to do a little NFL study after this show.
Yeah, I'm certainly going to be watching that after the show, so you can find that on the YouTube channel. Hit the bell and subscribe so you know when we go live. All right, let's do this, man. Let's go through these games. Going to be pretty quick. It is a big slate, so we're not going to talk about probably too many third lines or any grinders like that.
Whoa. Let's not get too
well, maybe we will. We'll see. Maybe we will. There might be one or two we could pop in there. All right, let's start with one of the more fun games of the night. We've got Tampa Bay and Toronto. 3.3 applied total for the Lightning. 3.4 for the Maple Leafs. Vasilevsky and Frederik Andersen in net. This is a game probably with a wide range of outcomes. You've got two really good goalies, two teams that we expect to be very good, both starting off a little bit slow, especially in Tampa Bay's case. Do we see anything different here?
So just that Braden Point's making his debut tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning between Stamkos and Kucherov. That moves Tyler Johnson down to the third line with Matthew Joseph and Yanni Gourde. Chiarelli centers Palat and Killorn. Looks like there is full power play correlation as well on that top unit with Patty Maroon up there as well. I think for the Toronto side, I didn't look at their fourth line yet. It looks like Spezza, Patan, Gauthier as well. I can't remember if it was them last time. Babcock's been alternating those guys recently. So everything looks kind of the same. One thing I did notice when I was writing up the article for destacking, Barry and Muzzin last game spent 14 minutes with the Tavares line, and Riley spent 15 minutes with the Matthews line. So it's looking like, and then Sandin and Hull had 8 minutes with Toronto 3. So it's looking like Babcock is attacking with some 5-man units sometimes. I don't know if that's a trend that'll continue or if that's something he's done in the past, but he's at home. He has last change. I think Toronto was at home last game too, right? So
yeah, I think so. I can't remember who they were going up against. I know they started with Ottawa. They had 3 games
the Blues, right?
Yeah. Maybe it was the Blues. I think they lost at home.
Yeah. So I would expect maybe that trend to continue. So if you're thinking about pairing and stacking, you might want to consider Barry or Muzzin, who's pretty cheap with the Tavares, Marner, and Kapanen.
Yeah, so for a game that I think is going to be pretty exciting to watch, I don't have much I'm in love with here. My favorite line is Tampa 1, but they're super expensive. So that's going to be the issue. If you could find a line that's cheap that you like to pair with them, and it's a big slate, I think you can make a case for a few of them here. Then yeah, by all means, go for it on Tampa 1, and kind of same thing for the Matthews line. They're a little bit cheaper, but they don't grade out particularly well for us. I I like the Tavares Marner combo, but I think Tampa is a tough matchup at 5-on-5, even with the high goal totals on both sides. So this is one that I think I'm going to be a little bit underweight on, probably all over the place. I think the most likely line I get overweight on is probably Tampa 1. I was only getting to about 5% of the Tavares line and very little of the Matthews line. Matthews at 8K, really tough on an 11-game slate when you've got Seguin for like, I think $1,700 cheaper on DK. So he's a little bit priced out of play for me. I shouldn't say he's priced out of play. You could play Austin Matthews, whatever you want, but I'm not in love with the stack, so it's hard for me to get to a lot of Leafs here. And then defenseman, Hedman is my favorite guy here at 5,900. Don't love Riley or the price on Tyson Barrie all that much. I'm hoping this one stays pretty quiet. I kind of like both of the goalies because I think there's going to be volume on both sides. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you're looking for contrarian play tonight, you could take one of these goalies as well in your stacks because I don't think a lot of people are going to have them, especially if you're going like a Tampa 1 with Vasilevsky. Of course, that's going to cost a lot, but certainly something to think about. I like Jake Muzzin here at $3,800 on DraftKings. Sergachev at $3,900 is also interesting because he's just got the offensive upside, even though his playing time isn't great. Muzzin's been getting a ton of playing time, so I think if you want access to this offense, there's no reason not to just pop him in there. And I kind of agree with you with all of your opinions there. Like I like Toronto 1, Toronto 2, and Tampa 1, but they're all among the most expensive lines on the slate. So I mean, we have them projected, I think, for. I'm just gonna look this up here. So they're both like double A grades, B values kind of thing. Like you can't really go wrong with playing them, but it's just it's tough to use them as a core at these current prices.
Yeah, not core plays for me, but I think spending up for lines to be a little bit contrarian on bigger slates like Tampa 1 that you would expect to just be really nasty at 5-on-5 and then awesome on the power play. Those are three huge parts of their top power play unit. So I'm going to try to force in some Tampa 1 or get to them hopefully organically.
What's our ownership looking like?
Yeah, let's see. Kucherov is
freebies away.
What's that?
I said I feel like we can give a few freebies away today.
For sure. Kucherov at 10, Point, and Stamkos at 7. Again, this is DraftKings only. But yeah, I think that's pretty solid. I mean, you're getting arguably a top 3 line on the slate at, sub 10% ownership. So I like it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I mean, it's going to be pretty spread out just because of the size of the slate. But anytime you can get those guys at sub 10%, I think you're doing something right.
All right, let's go to Detroit and Montreal. 2.6 implied total for the Red Wings, 3.4 for the Canadiens. Bernier going, not Jimmy Howard. I'm guessing Detroit has a back-to-back tomorrow or something. Carey Price in net for Montreal. Nothing new there. Montreal did play last night. They lost to Buffalo in OT. Gave up the big game to Eichel, but on home ice here looks like a really appealing spot. You got anything for line changes here?
No, I don't think I do. Let me just pull up these pages, though. I think so. Athanasiou went last game. Montreal played last night, so they didn't have a full morning skate tonight. So I think that's it. Yeah, I didn't really see anything standing out. Did you see anything?
I didn't see anything. Yeah. Brian in chat says, here we go, Detroit 1. Yeah, I thought it was going to be one of those nights where I just hammered Detroit 1, but I think the low total, they're pretty decently priced. I think they're a fine line to go to anytime they're going to be pretty low owned. Let's see. I want to look at I mean, Larkin's at 6% right now, so
why did they have the lowest total on the slate? That doesn't
Detroit? They got 2.6. Yeah. Is that the lowest total?
Yeah. 2.5 I'm seeing now.
That's pretty weird. I
don't
know, they suck, I mean, for one, but I guess you would expect Montreal to be pretty decent here, but the back-to-back is a little bit weird, even with Price and net. I'm guessing Price is skewing that a little bit.
Price has also had their number last year. Not that that's overly predictive, but he was 2-0 with a 1 goals against average against the Red Wings last year.
Yeah, I mean, one of the better goalies. So I don't know. I'm not in love with Detroit 1. I do really like Deneau, Tatar, and Gallagher, though. Kind of disappointed last night, but I'm going right back to him here. I think they're probably going to go up against Detroit 1 quite a bit tonight. That's not a bad defensive matchup or anything. They're pretty high event when these three are playing together, and you get Deneau and Gallagher on the top power play. So that's my favorite Montreal line by a pretty good margin. What about two, or more importantly, Joel Armia and Montreal 3? You got any interest?
What's their price point? I guess they didn't get much of a price bump at all, but no, that feels a little bit chasey to me. I don't know what they're. I don't know. This is going to be hard for you to hear me say this, but I don't think you need to go that deep on a slate like this.
They're 12K. I mean, I think they're better than a lot of other third lines. So I'm scrolling through, and
that's a little bit pricey though.
12K? Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, if you're trying to fit in like a Tampa 1 or Colorado 1 or something, I think you can make it work with them. I got to 1 share on my most recent crunch. So 1 share out of 150, that is. So
under Ottawa 1, 12.5.
Yeah,
Minnesota 1.
I don't know how I feel about them, but we'll get to them in just a minute. Because I think they're going to get some ownership, and I don't really think I agree with that. Or I don't think I really want to play them when they're getting ownership on an 11-game slate. But I do want to play Montreal 1 here. Anything else you want to talk about?
Let me just take a look here. I don't think I had anything crazy notes-wise. Looks pretty much the same for these guys. So no, I got nothing.
All right, nothing really on the defensive front for me. Detroit, never very appealing to grab D-men from. And then Weber is priced up at 6,400. There's a couple guys I like in his price range, so I think he's getting squeezed out a little bit for me. All right, let's go to Edmonton and New Jersey. We've got probably going to be Mike Smith going up against likely Mackenzie Blackwood because Schneider went last night. Schneider played actually really well for the first 2 periods, let in a goal that wasn't really his fault towards the end of the second period, and then the Devils just kind of imploded in the third. So wasn't that bad of a game for Corey Schneider, all things considered. His team kind of let him down. I was looking at New Jersey 1's numbers last night. They were absolutely atrocious at 5-on-5. I think they gave up like 21 shot attempts and only had 5 themselves. They were getting matched to get by the Couturier line. Couturier is just a stud defensively. Like, man, I didn't even realize how good he was at shutting guys down, and he just completely blanked them. So
Ryan O'Reilly out there.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I mean, I was looking at the numbers and I was like, is there a typo here? But no, man, they got dominated. They were super quiet to it when I was watching some of the game. But here, completely different story. They go back home. You've got Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and a bunch of nobodies really for Edmonton. Besides the 4-goal James Neal, new and improved James Neal, I suppose. But I really like Devils 1 here. I think they bounce back in a big way on the second half of a back-to-back.
Yeah. Feels a little chasey, but I think you could probably go back to that Edmonton 1 power play stack if you really want to get creative. Or you could do the flip side of that as well with the New Jersey Devils and adding Kyle Palmieri on that stack on your New Jersey Devils 1 stacks. But it's kind of screwed up, I think, right now, just with Zajac and Simmons on that unit. So PK Subban feels a little bit underpriced to me. I think it's 4,800 or something on DraftKings, so I don't mind going there, but hasn't been great so far. This line together as well had I think the 5th most 5-on-5 ice time New Jersey 1 did last game. So I would expect that to continue. Nikita Gusev had Carter Hart was just awesome, and they had some pretty nice chances yesterday as well. There was one where he just robbed Hall point blank, kind of pretty sweet pass by Gusev. So, and then I think Clefbaum as well. If you are going with the Oilers, he's getting more and more ice time with Edmonton 1, and he's pretty much the number 1 correlated in terms of ice time defenseman this year with the top line. So I think he's had 15, 16, 17 minutes with them each game so far this season.
Yeah, man. Subban is way too cheap at 4,700. So I'll be running him hopefully with my New Jersey 1 stacks. I think you can run Subban alone. Just looks like a pretty appealing spot for the Devils, all things considered. A 6.5 total, and most of that going to the Devils here. Hall probably goes up against McDavid and Draisaitl for the most part. but I'm not getting to as much New Jersey one as I want right now, but I'm going to try to get to them and closer to double digits, which is pretty high on a slate like this for me based on my play style. On the other side, McDavid, Draisaitl, Kassian. I mean, feel free to leave off Zach Kassian if you want. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that. I'm not getting to much Edmonton at all. A little worried about the matchup against Heischer Hall and Gusev if they're going to try to hard match that. Maybe they go with Zajac, Bratt, and Paul Mary, or maybe they switch lines around. I think that's pretty live here for the Devils. You might see some different combos. As someone mentioned, Matt mentioned in chat, you might see some different combos at 6:30 Eastern. So just keep an eye on this one. But if Hall and Heischer are together, maybe back with Paul Mary even, I really like that trio. And then, Clefbaum up at 6,500.
Oh, I didn't see that price. That's crazy.
So weird, dude.
Yeah, we've been playing them in the fours for so long.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like that seems just like his price is broken. So not gonna get there. I don't think. If you want to punt, Ethan Bear would probably be the guy I would go to. But I'm not in love with anything on the Edmonton side. It's McDavid probably or nothing for me. I'm not chasing the James Neal game, even though the Devils looked atrocious last night. Anything else here?
Nothing.
All right, Ducks, Penguins, 2.6 implied total for the Ducks, 3 for the Penguins. John Gibson, Matt Murray in net, and actually John Gibson is not confirmed, but we'll know this by the time we get to lock who's actually going. Any news here?
Sorry, I was paying attention there. We got Ducks and Penguins.
Yep, Ducks Penguins.
So Hornqvist game time decision. He's listed as a game time decision as well on both sites there. So I noticed Osimo. Hornqvist always ranked really well in our rankings last year. I think that's probably going to come down a bit this year because he wasn't all that productive. But if you want to one-off him, I think that's probably not a bad play. I noticed Alex was doing that a lot the other game as well. It was last game or the game before. He was using Hornqvist as his one player in 3-2-1 stacks. So that's the kind of guy that can always just kind of score a random garbage goal. Though I'm not super excited to play him, but you're going to get him at like pretty much no ownership. Letang got a ton of ice time with Pittsburgh 1, and Galchenyuk is on IR. So Bluger, Zach Aston Reese, and Hornqvist are on the third line there. And Cahoon is up with McCann and Tanev.
I didn't see that Kasha got moved down. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
At least that's what we're showing. Let's see.
Let me take a look and see if I can find that.
Yeah, I'm trying to look right now and see if I can find anything. But
these ones are like their beat writers are kind of tough to.
Oh, they're the worst.
Eric Stevens and that. So I don't know if that's like.
Yeah, they're not all that helpful. But
hey, what we haven't talked about as well this year is scouting the refs. Have we got any like Furman style refereeing?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Do we have any Furman type guys yet? I haven't seen any. Just
anyone knows? Let us know. It's probably too early in the season to really find out for sure. But looks like Ghislaine Hebert, 6.4 goals per game so far. It's not bad. There's going to be outliers at this point in the season, though, regardless of how much. So I don't know. I don't know if we can put much stock in it, but
yeah. All right. So I was quickly trying to find numbers for Getzlaf with Shore and Troy Terry, and we don't really have anything from last season. So
I don't like.
Yeah,
I don't know where Daily Faceoff's getting at. Is it just like maybe that happened at the end, like Eric Stevens not reporting it? Elliot Tiford.
I mean, they skated Shore with Terry and Getzlaf for 3 minutes this season, so I don't even think it was based on last game unless it was just at the very end. But I think they opened the.
I found a tweet actually. So NHL lines, it's from yesterday. We're slightly different today at practice, so I don't know if this is going to maintain throughout today or what. Troy Terry moved up to the first line, swapping his third line spot with Andre Kasha, Nick Delorier, Sam Steele, and Max Comtois skated on a fifth line. Okay. So guessing Sam Steele isn't quite ready to go yet.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay. anyways, for me, like it doesn't matter all that much, but I really like Pitt 1 here. Once again, they're coming off the bad game as chalk. Maybe some people will get off of them because they don't have the massive total tonight. But they were incredible at 5-on-5 against Winnipeg. Like they had 13 shot attempts to Winnipeg 1's 0 when they were on the ice together, which was a substantial amount of time. So I'm not really worried about the matchup with Crosby and Gensel and Simone here. I'm going to leave on Simone because they were so good at 5-on-5. And
this is a nice bounce back spot after they burned everyone.
Yeah, they're going to be one of my higher exposed lines tonight. So I'm pretty excited to play some Pitt 1. You get Gensel and Crosby on the top power play. Hard to argue with that. Letang at 6,700. I don't even think I got to him, but let me see.
Yeah, another highly correlated play. He got about 15 minutes with them last game too. So, and John Gibson not confirmed as well.
He is not confirmed. So if he's not in the game, I mean that changes things too in a good way for Pittsburgh.
Bump him through the ceiling, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I actually did get to use some Letang. I'm at 16% Letang right now, which I think is pretty good. I might even want to get up to that. I just figured I wouldn't get to him compared to like Burns and Carlson and those kind of guys. But
so the Ducks play tomorrow as well against Blue Jackets.
Ooh.
So my guess is a 50-50 shot. He plays tonight.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, man, I might need to even get more exposure to Pitt 1 if it's no Gibson. But we'll know. We'll know half hour before lock. Got anything on the Duck side you want to talk about?
No, just other than those line changes there. I don't really have a good feel for the Ducks this year. I don't really have a good feel for them generally other than Kasha. So Henrique and Max Jones, that doesn't seem like any more or less of a any better than Getzlaf and Shore, I guess. And then they always seem to mix up their power plays. So it's just always a really hard team to get a feel for because they don't really seem to have much consistency even in game. Line. They're kind of like Ottawa in that they don't really seem to stick with their lines or their power play units all that frequently.
Yeah, I'd be okay playing some Henrique, Kasha, and Max Jones as like a punt line.
Yeah, especially if Gibson goes, stack them with that, maybe.
Yeah. If Gibson goes like that, he's probably going to see some decent volume. I mean, Pitt, they're very they are not deep at all. So like you've got Bluger as your third line center, McCann as your second, Tanev, Cahoon as your second line. I mean, their decor, like their third pairing is very bad. So I think you can attack with some Ducks here. The issue is what you said, like they just don't really stick to their lines that often. And who knows where Kosh is actually going to end up if it's on the top line. I mean, yeah, I would like to play some Getzlaf, Kasha, and either Shore or Troy Terry, but don't really know where I'm going to be at right now on Anaheim here.
Yes, fair.
St. Louis, Ottawa, we've got a 3.5 implied total for the Blues, 2.6 for the Sens. Jake Allen and Anders Nilsson in net here. Allen at 8,200 on the road. Nilsson 6,700. I'm guessing we're gonna like some Blues here. What do you think?
I guess so. Yeah, I kind of like. I mean, the ownership on Tarasenko is a little bit shocking to me. I don't know. I haven't looked at his price yet. Is he priced up?
He's priced at 7,100.
So that's not bad. I don't know. I mean, the Blues are the obvious play here. I don't know why. I was just kind of like liking Ottawa in this game. I don't know. I don't really have any data to support that claim, though.
So what do you like about Ottawa? I mean, they're cheap.
Right? Yeah, they're cheap. I don't know. I just like targeting Nilsson every once in a while because I'm of the impression that he just like has these monster games where he posts a 978 save percentage on 45 shots, or he's going to shit the bed. So one of the two. But I don't know. I mean, the Blues are a pretty great option here. Implied for 3.5 goals for, and Ottawa's implied for 2.6. So, and then that's the other thing as well, I guess, is Jake Allen in net there. So, a bit of a downgrade in net. On the Ottawa side, Colin White, Kachuk, and Tyler Ennis has been moved up to the top line there. New bottom nine, I think, new full bottom nine for them. I can't even remember who was up on that top line before instead of Ennis. Do you remember? Connor Brown for a bit, and then Tierney? I don't know.
Duclair on the top line?
Yeah.
Duclair played on the top line some last game.
So, I mean, and then I looked at their their time together, and new coach, same results. Ottawa just still mixing lines. No unit had more than 14% time on ice share together last game, so they're still mixing things up. The only real interest I have here on the Ottawa side is Tom Shabbat, who is super cheap and a great value, I think, at that price point. And then, if you want to play the Blues, I don't see any problem with loading up on St. Louis 1 or St. Louis 2.
Yeah, I like St. Louis 1 quite a bit. They're just, once again, too cheap, 3.5 implied total. I think they're a pretty obvious play. I'm a little worried about Ottawa because so they're just coming up because they're cheap for me, I think. Like White and Kachuk grade out okay as on a raw points basis, but like if they weren't cheap, I don't think I'd be playing them. We don't really have a lot of data on any of these lines. I mean, White and Kachuk have been okay together, but like I just don't see Ottawa having the puck on like in the offensive zone very much this game. Like, if you think about it, like White, Kachuk, Ennis, if they even keep that line, Tierney, Duclair, Ryan against O'Reilly, Perron, Sammy Blais, and then Schwartz, Shen, Tarasenko. Like, to me, that just sounds like a ton of time where the Blues have the puck and Ottawa does not. So I get it. They only have to score a goal and maybe a little bit more to probably be worth it here if you're talking about Ottawa 1 or even 2. But, like, I just hate playing the cheap, chalky value. Like, I think they're going to be higher owned probably than they should be. Like, if you think about their chances of actually being a stack you need compared to what they're probably going to be owned here. Like, this is a stack that people are going to go to that I would like to get away from Ottawa 1. Maybe what I'll do is just, like, cap them so I don't get more than a few shares of them, because right now I'm just getting, I think, way too much.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I do like Shabbat, though, under 5K. Top pairing. I think he's playing like 27 minutes a game over their first few, and top power play too.
He's not getting owned this season so far, and like 30 minutes last game out. So with numbers like that, like he's going to be one of my most owned defensemen. He's got a chance at the shot block bonus, I think, tonight. Even though he doesn't typically block a lot of shots, but he generates a lot of shots. And if you want access to this Ottawa offense, he's far and away your best bet. I think it's either him or Kachuk.
Yeah. And then you've got Pietrangelo and Falk on the other side, 4,500 for Falk, playing with Pietrangelo at 5-on-5. Like, I don't know. I'm probably going to get there a little bit. Pietrangelo.
One thing I did notice as well with the Blues, they're de-stacking. Looks like Pietrangelo is a little bit more St. Louis 2.
Okay.
Just a note.
Okay. Yeah. Was that at home or away?
That was last game out against the Leafs.
Okay, so that was away then. All right, perfect. Either of those two guys are fine. I would like Pietrangelo straight up, but Falk does have some pretty good value on a team with high implied total, especially if he's in for an increase in minutes. All right, let's go to the next game. Capitals, Predators, 2.6 implied total for the Caps, 3 flat for the Preds. Holtby and Pekka Rinne in net. And this is a game I'm not getting too much of at all on either side. Do you got anything you like and any changes you want to mention?
Was this Washington, Nashville?
Yeah.
Not getting to it, eh?
Not really. Are you?
I don't know. Maybe. I always like targeting Washington, especially when teams are coming in on the road, just because I feel like they go under-owned. I don't know why, but and then that Duchesne, Granlund, Forsberg line has gotten a lot of ice time so far. The only issue is that they don't have full power play correlation, and they're a little bit pricey. So I haven't actually built yet today, so I should say that.
Okay, fair enough.
But looks like they're a little bit too pricey here. My God. So, and then the Washington side, Kuznetsov has been moved back up to the second line. In case you missed that, I kind of like this second line for Washington. If you need a filler stack, it's under 15,000. Oshie, Verana, and Kuznetsov, all pretty talented players, all super cheap. So those three are interesting. John Carlson getting a ton of ice time with Washington, about 15 minutes per game right now or so far this season. And then Nashville's at home. I misread that. Sorry. And then I like Roman Josi always. He had a ton of ice time last game, 23 minutes. Looks like he's getting between 23 and 25. Obviously, the 2 goals last time. Don't hate that either. How come you're not getting it much? Is it just the price points?
I think, yeah, just price points for Nashville. Like, I like attacking the Caps, especially when they're on the road. Um, but you've got Forsberg at 7K, Duchesne at 6,200. They're just not, again, they're not great values. I think value is a little bit overrated. But like, you still need to be able to fill out a quality lineup. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get to Nashville 2, Duchesne, Forsberg, and Granlund. I do like how that line's playing together, and I think they're gonna get an okay matchup, whether they go up against Kuznetsov or the Backstrom line. So that's gonna be a line I try to get to after the show. I think I'll be able to force a few shares of them in once I start cutting down my pool a little bit. But yeah, this one not popping off the page for me as far as just like raw projection. Not all that interested in anything on the Cap side, but it's the Caps, so they do have a deadly power play top unit that plays the majority of the time there. So if you wanted to go to some Backstrom, Ovi, Carlson stacks, knock yourself out. I'm never really going to talk anyone out of that. And then Yossi at 6,200 is my favorite defenseman here.
Yep, fair. 3.3 total for Nashville. Nothing to sneeze at, but at that price point, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Did I mention as well, Nashville line changes? Kelly Yarncroc moved up to the top line. Craig Smith down on the fourth line. He might be in the doghouse there. I don't know. And then Rocco Grimaldi didn't practice today. It looks like Daniel Carr is going to skate on that fourth line. Super cheap fourth line. Kyle Turris, Craig Smith. Yeah, maybe.
Not for me. Not tonight. Maybe on like a 3-gamer like last night. Even though stacking has not been the key anyway. So
Craig Smith too expensive as well if he's playing on the fourth line.
Wild Jets. We've got a 2.9 implied total for the Wild, 3.1 for the Jets. Dubnyk and Hellebuck in net here. Bunch of Wild changes, I think, from the last time we saw them on a slate. Did you catch those today?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was hard pressed to remember the Wild have even played this year yet. I feel like
they had like a 6-day break. Like I think they played last Friday or last Saturday was the last time they played. So big layoff. Yeah,
their lines continue to just be like gross. I don't know. I can't get to any of them just because I don't know. Maybe you'll have a different opinion, but it's Eric Stahl, Kevin Fiala, and Marcus Foligno, Koivu, Zuccarello, Zucker, which I think is probably the best, but then you got Koivu centering it, and Kunin, Parise, Jordan Greenway, Hartman, Donato, and Eriksson Ek actually got, I think the fourth line got the most ice time, or second most ice time last time out. And then you have totally screwed up power plays. We got Stahl from the first line, Parise from the third line, and Zuccarello from the second line to go along with two defensemen. So that's one of the major reasons why I'm just not interested at all in these Minnesota Wild players, just because there's absolutely no power play correlation. I'd rather just go with one of the defenders here. And then on the Winnipeg side of things, we have Josh Morrissey back, Dmitry Kulikov back. I'd imagine Josh Morrissey would just take over his power play one duties. And I think everything else is the same for Winnipeg, the forward lines, unless I miss some.
Yep, Winnipeg is the same from what I see as well. Love Winnipeg 1 here. I think they're going to be pretty popular. Their top two lines is just where all the scoring seems to be concentrated. I don't know. There's not anything interesting to talk about for Winnipeg 1. They're fully correlated on the PP. Good price here against a team that has historically been really bad on the road. So they're good as far as a play for single entry or MME. I'm gonna have a bunch of them. On the other side, yeah, you mentioned the Wild lines. I mean, these are pretty brutal lines. Like, if it were me, I would want to see Stahl with like Zucker and Fiala. I think that'd be a really fun line to play. Or even Stahl with Zuccarello and one of Zucker and Fiala, something like that. But like, it feels like they just can't get it right. So I don't know, man. Right now I'm getting to some Minnesota 2, Koivu, Zucker, and Zuccarello. I don't even know how I like those three together. They're just cheap, and Winnipeg is just decimated defensively. I mean, zero depth for them. You're still going with Pionk and Josh Morrissey and Heinola and Tucker Poolman in your top four. So I feel like I should be getting to some Minnesota here, and right now it's the second line. Just know that if you do play Minnesota and you do watch this game, your lines are live to get blown up at any second. Boudreau has done that in the first couple games, and if they get down against the division opponent here and they're either 0-2 or whatever, Boudreaux's probably feeling the hot seat. Yeah, I don't know. He might be pretty trigger happy with mixing things up. So that on an 11-game slate, if your lines get mixed up during the game, like you're basically dead. There's really no coming back from that, honestly. Are we getting messages in chat?
No, it's just postings. I don't know why, but my Slack snooze is not working right now. So.
Mine isn't either. I've noticed that the last few weeks. Like it's just like overriding my computer being on sleep mode.
Great.
So, damn Slack. All right. I like Morrissey for 4,600. I love Dumba for 4,500. Dumba's one of my favorite defensemen tonight. Prefer him over Suter. Prefer him over basically everyone in his range.
We're going to get about 20 of these right now, by the way.
It's all good. Anything else you want to talk about in this game?
No, I do like that call on Winnipeg 1. I think they're super cheap, not super cheap, but reasonably priced. And Winnipeg 2 as well. I think if you're going to do that stack, definitely throw Andrew Kopp on there because he's not going to get any ownership. Ehlers and Connor played pretty well together, I think. And I think they scored a goal their last time out. So they'll go under owned. And it's a fairly cheap filler stack for like $15,000. But yeah, kind of like your call there. I like Winnipeg 1 tonight.
All right, let's move it on to San Jose and Chicago. What do we got? Like 3 more games, I think. Yeah. Sharks, Blackhawks, 3.2 implied total for the Sharks, 3.3 for the Blackhawks. Aaron Dell in net against Corey Crawford. I mean, at this point, who's worse, Aaron Dell or Martin Jones? Because it's pretty bad both ways there.
If I was them, I'd be making a move for a goalie, that's for sure. But
yeah.
They seem to love Martin Jones. But.
It's so weird. Anything new in this game?
Yeah, new lines for the Sharks. Don't really like it. Their power plays are totally screwed up as well again. So it's Couture, Marleau, and Meyer. Only Couture on the power play 1. And it's Hurdle, Kane, and Barclay Goodrow, I think. I thought that was Dylan Gambrell. They might have recently just changed that. That's Hurdle and Kane, I think, are on the power play 1. And then LeBanc, Thornton, Lean, Bergman, Sorensen's still out. And I think everything is the same for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I don't like that Nylander's up there and he's 5K because it's making it difficult for me to get to Chicago 1 stacks. Really like the second line here for the Blackhawks. That's going to be the line I think I focus a little bit more on. Always scary when you're playing the Hawks and you're not playing Kane and Taze when they're together. But it looks like that's what I'm going to be doing, at least at this point. I'll try to get some Chicago 1 shares. On the other side, I love attacking the Blackhawks, but you don't really have a line that's loaded up here. Who knows what to expect for the Sharks with Marleau? Hasn't played in a while. He's 4,500. It's not like you're just getting a pure punt price. But I think both of the top 2 lines for the Sharks are viable. Right now, I'm getting to a little bit more of the Hurdle line, but I'm going to have shares of both of these top 2 because Chicago, I mean, you saw them similar to what we saw all last year. They gave up like 70 shot attempts at 5-on-5 in their first game. I mean, they're just brutal defensively. But I think there's going to be a lot of scoring to go around. You've got Carlson at 5,700 here. You've got Burns at 7K. Carlson the better value, but Burns is going to be one of my highest owned defensemen along with Carlson. And then Gustafsson, if you're going with Taze and Kane, Gustafsson makes for a really nice add-on to your stack. Power play 1, probably going to skate a bunch with them at 5-on-5 too. Seems like a game with a lot of fantasy goodness.
Yeah, I'm not getting much Burns tonight. I know that's gonna hurt you to hear me say that, but $7,000, most expensive defenseman on the slate, not even getting power play 1 time. That's a little bit scary. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's the best defenseman on the slate. I don't think there's any denying that, and he can break his slate at any time. But I would rather probably pay down for Erik Karlsson, $1,300 cheaper as well. Like there's just so much other defense value on this slate, whether that's Chabot or whether Gustafsson, as you mentioned, PK Subban. Like I feel like I'm getting $2,000 in savings. Josh Morrissey, $2,500 in savings, and I'm not really sacrificing all that much in terms of upside. So I think Burns is a one-off. It's a really good play. Especially because there's just it's really hard to figure out the correlation, especially in the power plays. But I like San Jose 2 too. They're very cheap. And then I like the Chicago side of this as well. I think Chicago 1's expensive. Chicago 2 is a little bit cheaper, but they grade out pretty well for us too. So I don't know. I don't have any problem going with either one of those two lines.
Fair enough. Yeah. Burns is, very expensive, 7K. I still got to him. He was my third highest owned defenseman on my last crunch, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
He's been quiet this year, but not like totally. Like he still had he had a goal and assist last time out in Nashville. So getting 25 to 29 minutes a game. So
yeah, he's going to play a ton of minutes here. A lot of shots to go around. I don't think San Jose is going to be great defensively. So the double bonus, like block shot on goal, double bonus is very, very, very live here.
And I think you're going to get him at low ownership too.
Yep, because Carlson's the better value. Like, I think he is the better value, and I have more Carlson right now, but Burns is certainly going to be up there for me, and Gustafsson on the other side as well. No Dell. I don't know. I'd be looking to get away from Dell unless you're stacking San Jose. Like, you can always correlate, I think. You might even be okay if Dell allows like 3 goals, but he saves 35 shots and gets you a win, I think. Then you're okay for 6,900 there. Crawford is a guy, I'm pretty much avoiding Crawford tonight. I don't think there's really a need for him tonight.
San Jose 0-4. I feel like they're gonna. I kind of like actually San Jose to maybe narrative street this one out. Must-win situation. Chicago coming back from Finland, where they Finland, just
Prague. They were telling me.
Yeah. Coming back from Prague, maybe there's a little jet lag there. I don't know. I'm just throwing some narratives out at you.
Yeah. All right, let's move it on. Let's see. 2 more games? 3 more games?
Couple juicy ones here.
Yeah. 3 more games. We'll get through them quick. Flames, Stars, 2.7 implied total on both sides. Rittich and Ben Bishop in net. And one of the chalkier lines of the night we've got in this game, Seguin, Ben, and Alex Radulov. Was not expecting to see that, but just based on price alone, these guys are probably 10 to 15 to 20% underpriced, honestly. So I understand it from that standpoint. Even with the low total, they're so good. They're probably going to play on the power play together if this game ends up being close. They're listed on Seguin's listed on the second unit. Whatever. If the game is close and you've already got some points out of Dallas 1, they're going to be on the ice together when things count. It's just weird that Dallas does this, where they try to split things up. Makes absolutely no sense. But
they did go back to it, I think, at some point last game, where they had Pavelski, Radulov, again, and Ben and Klingberg on the ice together, but it wasn't for much. So that's the only drawback to this line, is that they're not on the power play together. But this is going to be the most down line of the night. I would assume 20% across the board. I think. What do you think? Is that too much?
It's a little too much. I think it's a little bit too much. Just based on implied total alone, like, they're fantastic. They're probably going to go up against Monahan, Gaudreau, and Lindholm. They're going to hopefully do their best to avoid the Backlund line. Backlund probably goes up against Faxa and whoever else he's with. And then Seguin and the Hintz lines probably get to avoid Backlund for the most part. But yeah, they're a good play. They're a good value. I don't think they've got a great chance of being the top stack on an 11-game slate. Certainly not like a 15% chance, I don't think. On the other side, I don't have much of anything. Dallas doesn't really strike me as a team that I want to target all that much with, all that much against when they're at home. So
yeah, it's a really tough matchup for the Flames, but I think for GPPs, I think they're a fine play now that we have our ownership projections, and it looks like that line's going to be like 1 to 2% owned. Stranger thing, I'm guessing there's a higher chance that they're going to be one of the top 2 stacks of the night at 1 to 2% ownership, but not a great value, not a core play by any stretch, but you can certainly throw them into a couple lineups and maybe try to gain some leverage on the field there with a super low on stack.
That's not even a bad call too, because like if Monahan or one of these guys, if one of them's at like, let's say 1%, like that's your lowest owned guy, like I would just stack the full line. They're going to play together the whole game. They're all in the PP together. Lindholm and Gaudreau or I guess Lindholm's price is really good. Monahan's overpriced, but I don't mind that call, like playing a few shares out of them. And, if you're playing 150 tonight.
Not a lot. I'm just not liking a lot of the cheaper lines so far. I don't know about you, but there's nothing really standing out to me in terms of like second, third, fourth lines that are like fourth, but that are great values to pair with that. But you said Montreal 3 maybe, which is probably a pretty good one, but I don't know. That's my only complaint with that.
Defenseman here. Do you like anyone? Geo, Klingberg, Hiskinen?
Yeah, I mean Klingberg's getting a lot of ice time with Dallas 1, so but it's a little bit spread out last game. So I guess the only problem with projecting these Dallas defensemen is Heiskanen, Lindell, and Klingberg can all get their share. Lindell is probably my favorite of all of them at $3,400, 22 to 25 minutes every game, getting the power play timeless again. So same amount of ice time with Klingberg. So that's probably, along with Muzzin, I think probably your two best values on the slate. And as well, if you want a super cheap defenseman, I'm not high on him as well, but Rasmus Anderson is going to move up to the top pairing with Mark Giordano. Looks like can't remember who's sitting out. Kylington's out and Stone is in. Brody moves down to the third pairing there. So there's another cheap value play on a top pairing, but he just doesn't. He has pretty limited upside, and this isn't a great matchup.
I like it. All right, let's go to Boston and Colorado. Yaroslav Halak confirmed for the Bruins. Philip Grubauer expected for Colorado. We've got fire on both sides here. Two stacked top lines. McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen for Colorado. Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak for Boston. Do you like either side of this game, or is this kind of a void situation? Do you think these two cancel each other out, or I don't know. I could see this kind of like the Tampa Toronto
Wouldn't
game
it
going
like Kadri going up against Boston 1 then?
I mean, you would, man. If I was coaching, I probably would.
Total. Like, why is the 2.8 total for each team? That scares me off a little bit.
Yeah, I thought we would see a 6 total here. Like, I didn't think 6.5. But like with Halak starting, not Rask, I thought maybe the total would go up a little bit. Maybe it has. Let's see where it's at.
2.8, 2.8. So
yeah, man, it's weird. I don't know, man. I don't think we're gonna get low owned either side of this too. That's the problem that I have with it. So let's see. Where do we have McKinnon? Yeah, McKinnon right now is the second highest owned player on the slate behind Seguin. And then Boston 1 is pretty popular as well. So yeah. I don't know. Like I'm struggling with this game.
Yeah, me too. Because my initial instinct was that this is going to be one of the top targets of the night, and I think this is going to shoot out, and I think it's going to be a really fun up-tempo game. But maybe I'm just way off base there. I don't know. And the Vegas total, I think, is probably the best way to like reset your expectations, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't mind getting some shares, but if they're going to be over-owned, I think I'll be under the field just based off that.
Yeah, so both of these lines are underpriced, and that's why you're seeing the low totals. Like Boston 1 should never be $19K to stack. It's a pretty good power play spot for them against Colorado. Colorado committed a ton of penalties last year, and essentially the same players they've got this year. So you would expect them to take a bunch more penalties this year, adding Kadri to that mix. And then Colorado 1, when they're at home, like they were priced at closer to like 23, 22K last year at times, and if they have the luxury of being on home ice and maybe getting to avoid extended time against Boston 1, they're probably a little bit underpriced too. So that's why you're seeing the ownership on both sides here. I side more with the Boston 1 side here because I just think Boston's a little bit tougher 5-on-5 matchup for Colorado 1. We'll see how good a job Colorado does trying to get their top line away from Boston 1, or even if they care about that at all. So I'm probably going to miss out on Colorado 1 night if they go off. Only getting to a couple of shares of them right now, but Boston 1 is one of my favorite values in the slate.
I like it. Yeah, I like that a lot. They were great in a contrarian matchup against Vegas the other night. So, I mean, it's too cheap, way too cheap. Colorado as well, giving up it's only 2 games, but they're giving up the second most amount of scoring chances and high danger chances against the team. So, it's just way too cheap. I don't get it.
I think they're going to be pretty run and gun. And like if you're run and gun against Boston 1, I don't care who you are. Like they're going to generate chances, and they're incredible at finishing.
and like this Colorado D doesn't scare anyone. I don't think.
No,
Like,
no, not at all.
Eric Johnson, like I'm not super worried about that.
No, I'm not either. So,
yeah.
So I like Cale Makar at 4,200. He's a guy I have a bunch of. I'll try to get him with the few Colorado One shares I do have. But this is so tough because I think this game could easily be like literally 1-0, or if there's a bunch of penalties, all of a sudden call and it's playing fast, like all of a sudden it could be 6-5 with no Rask in net, and just Colorado One just swarming around the ice. That is probably the toughest fade in NHL DFS. So not looking forward to watching this one if I don't end up with a lot of Colorado One.
I just did a little crunch here and just a straight crunch with the predictions. Getting a lot of Ottawa One.
Yeah, I know. I think they're going to be an optimizer play, which is frustrating. I'm going to try to get off of them at least a little bit. Let's go to the last game of the night. Vegas, Arizona, 2.8 implied total for the Golden Knights, 2.7 for Arizona. Malcolm Subban and Darcy Kemper in net here. This is a game where I think you might see another optimizer play. Stepan, Clayton Keller, and Phil Kessel. Pretty decent line. I don't know that they have a very good even strength matchup, but they are all on the power play together. So there's some things to like. I just wonder if they're going to be a little bit more popular than they should be. Do you see where Stepan's at? Let's see, 8%. Kessel at 9%, and then Keller is at probably right in that range. Yeah, Keller's at 9 as well. So they're going to be one of the more popular lines of the night. I don't know if I agree with that. They're similar. Like I would rather play them than Ottawa if I could just choose one. But Vegas is such a tough matchup at all strengths, honestly. Even with Subban and net, it's not Fleury, but it's not like he's the worst goalie in the world. So, do you like anything here?
I don't know. I just have such a trouble with Arizona. You know, like they've got four. Take your pick between Arizona 2, 3, 4. All three of those lines are good. They tend to rotate. They tend to like. God, my brain is dead here. Roll lines, I think a lot, and you won't see like one line with a great amount of ice time percentage together. So one other note there, Barrett Hayton is playing on the second line with Christian Dvorak and Nick Schmaltz, making his NHL debut. Former top 5 pick, I think, 2018 draft. That's, you know, like if Arizona One's going to get ownership, no thanks. I think I view them as a contrarian play. And same thing for the Vegas side. I think like Arizona is just so stifling defensively that I do like Vegas One here maybe a little bit. They got a lot of ice time, but not something I'm targeting as any kind of core play. I'm sure they won't get much ownership, I guess, as a result. But I don't know. Arizona shuts things down and moves things to a snail's pace like as much as anyone else, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't think they took a lot of penalties last year too. So
yeah, they were like first in the league in taking penalties, I think.
Yeah.
So whatever algorithm Chaika's got over there, it's something to do with like team defense.
Right. Yeah, they were solid last year for sure. The couple targets I am getting to in this game, outside of Arizona One, but I'm going to try to limit them, is Theodore at 4,800, just a good price for a really talented player. I've talked about him, I think, every slate Vegas has been on. So you guys know my feelings about him. And then Vegas 2 is probably not going to get too much ownership, and just a really talented line with Pacioretty and Stone as your wingers. Cody Glass is filled in pretty nicely. So right now we've got Glass at 1%. And if that's going to be the case, I'll take a flyer on Vegas 2.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I was just looking up Arizona stats here. They're not as great as I made them out to be. Kind of middle of the pack, but
all right. Well, real quick, we do have Showdown projections are free today. So let me get this link for you guys. You're going to want to check out our Showdown projections for DraftKings and FanDuel. So I'm posting them in chat. Take advantage. I'm going to be playing some Showdown tonight. I'm sure you will as well, Nolan. If you're looking for more Showdown NFL content, just click on the Awesemo YouTube channel, and you can see the video that Alex and Ben did earlier today. 2 very sharp guys talking about NFL Showdown. So what's better than that?
Fascinating slate tonight, man. I don't know what to do with it.
Neither do I, but I'm going to dig in once I start finalizing my NHL lineups. We also have this Thursday night giveaway going on. You can win a 2019 Osmo Plus NFL Season Pass, $250 value. Sorry, $249. I don't want to lie to you. You just have to reply, retweet, and like this tweet that I'm going to bombard you guys with just a bunch of links in chat. And then you just have to reply with who's going to score the most fantasy points for this game. Super easy. Chance to win. Doesn't cost you anything more than a few seconds of your time. And, make a couple, one lucky person happy, giving them a season pass. What else am I missing here, Nolan? Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports? You're going to be playing on Yahoo this weekend?
Oh, hey, another winning night last night, man. Head on over there and play. Have you been playing there at all?
I haven't been able to get over there as much as I've wanted to.
Do it,
What
man.
do we got tonight?
Just head on over. I'm just going to take a look. I actually haven't joined the contest yet, but it's absolutely worth it. I think I've been profitable every night but one night so far this year. So they have $235 contest or 235 person contest in hockey, which $300 top prize. Nothing to sneeze at. Those are solid numbers, but the competition's just way less sharp on there. Like people, you're getting your casual fantasy player. It's like, hey, I'm gonna put in a lineup tonight, and I'm not gonna stack it all. So a huge advantage. Might as well. It's really just free money right now. So check it out, and yeah.
Yep. All right. I posted Emacs Thursday night primetime article. He does a great job on that. If you want to get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points, feel free to check out that article. There's some information in there in the second or third paragraph, and you can essentially get up to $30 in free money on Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. Thanks for joining us, guys. Any last words, Nolan?
I got nothing.
All right. Good luck tonight, guys. Let's think.